What guys, and welcome back to the channel. Find me today on the Z once again on another glorious February day, freezing cold, probably gonna rain, so I want to get this video done and sorted before it does rain, because I cleaned this bike yesterday and I ain't up for getting it dirty. So these bikes in front of me are nothing to do with me, they just, well, they're just there. There were two bikes that were in front of me. They must have been together because, well, they're just plodding along, so thought I'd go on with it and get past them. Yeah, so today I thought I'd give you a little review on the Z. It's nice and clean. Talk to you about what I like about it, what I don't like about it. A little bit of statistics. I said in my last review video of my verses, don't take my statistics, that's a mouthful, as gospel. It's just things I think are right. I could be completely wrong. Tell you what, it is pretty windy out here. Shit all over the road still, look. Oh, that's literally shit, I think. That's horse shit. Oh. So my plan is... nearly fell off. Yeah, so what our plan is, I'm going to pull over, do a little bit of a walk around the bike, give you the stats then, and then we'll continue the ride, and then I'll tell you what I like and what I don't like about the bike. Just as a bit of a disclaimer, I really do like this bike a lot, so there's going to be many dislikes if I'm honest. So I'll get back to you when I find somewhere to pull over. So guys, there she is, my beautiful Kawasaki Z1000R. Obviously she's an 18 plate. I've had this bike for about a year now. It's not the first Z1000 I've owned. I did own the Sagami limited edition version a couple of years ago, but due to house moves and needing deposits and stuff like that, she had to go. But I really missed it. Absolutely loved the bike, so it was only natural to go and buy a second one when it comes to buying bikes again. I couldn't find another Sagami, unfortunately. That was what I was after, but this come up, the R edition, and I weren't overly keen on the green initially, but after about a week of owning it, every time I went into the garage to see it, I was like, yeah, nah, really like that, really like this bike. Do I prefer it to my Sagami, colour wise? I like them both, but I'm not really sure if I prefer one or the other. I'll plug a little picture up on the screen and show you the Sagami. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the Sagami compared to this one. Which one do you prefer? I still can't make my mind up. I mean, I look at the picture of the Sagami and really like that colour scheme, but then I see this and I think, well, actually no, this is actually a really nice looking bike. So I'm not really sure. So this engine then is a 1043cc liquid cooled 4-stroke engine, very similar to, in actual fact, the same engine as my Versas have got, just this is tuned very differently. It's got 140 brake horsepower and 111 pound-foot of torque, I believe. So obviously a lot more powerful than the Versas is, but compared to naked bikes nowadays, it's actually quite underpowered, I suppose. It's quite a heavy bike for a naked bike. It weighs 220 kilos. But to be fair, getting it off the stand, you could probably feel the weight, but riding the bike, it doesn't feel heavy at all. It just falls into the bends. It's a lovely bike to ride. You don't feel that weight at all. So the fuel tank on this then, it's a 17 litre fuel tank. It claims it can get 140 miles to a tank. I've never managed to get 140 miles out of a tank to this. I'm getting roughly 120 miles. And then I'm sort of panicking in where I need to find a fuel station. So yeah, the 140 mile thing, it may well do it, but I've never really pushed it that far. I wouldn't want to risk it. So the seat height in is 815mm. I'm 5'10" with a 32-inch leg, and I can sit on this bike flat-footed with knees actually slightly bent. So for the shorter rider, it is perfect. you want to paddle it around your driveway and stuff like that, or if you're on ground it's a bit iffy, at least you can at least I can reach the floor on it and not have to panic or worry about not being able to keep the bike upright or dropping it or anything like that. So the difference between the R and the standard Z, I suppose, I believe the R comes with these Brembo front brake calipers. Really good brakes, really impressed with them. You get the braided lines, I believe, at the back of it as well. Obviously you get the Olin manually adjustable suspension. I've never touched that, so, and for the eagle-eyed viewers out there, you'll know, or if you know anything about these bikes, they actually come with aquaprovic exhaust. When I bought this bike, it had the standard Z1000 exhaust, you know, the big sort of V things, the horrible looking things. I believe whoever owned this bike before me must have taken the aquaprovics off and sold them separately to the bike. But it wasn't an issue. I had acros on my last one, and to be honest with you, I wasn't overly impressed with the acros. I wanted quite a loud exhaust, and although I decatted it like I have on this one, I'd never really found it that loud. That being said, these Black Widows are horrendously loud, especially without the baffles in, which they haven't got at the moment. They are ridiculously loud. So if you like a really loud bike, then go for Black Widows 100% without and decat it. Then it's ridiculously loud. But if you want a bike that sounds nice but without giving you bleeding ears, Black Widows, maybe steer away from them, or keep your cat in, because that makes a big difference in the noise. So that brings me to the dashboard then. This bike is pretty basic when it comes to the dashboard. Obviously your standard LCD screen. That time is wrong, not that it matters, but yeah, time's wrong. You don't really get a lot on the dashboard. Obviously your rev counter, revs to 11,000. You do get ABS. Electronics wise, well, electric starter, indicators, lights, that's pretty much all you get electronics wise. This bike is completely and utterly standard. It hasn't even got traction control, so I have to be quite careful on this bike, especially in the wet. If you like a bike with lots of electronics, then this is definitely not the bike for you. This bike is all about the rider. What you put into the bike is what you get out of it. There is nothing here to save you with regards to electronics. So if you like a bike with lots of stuff on it to save you if you do something wrong, I wouldn't go for the Z. So I'll give you a little bit of a start up of the bike. So they're Black Widows, they sound phenomenal, but you try riding it like 60 miles an hour in 6th gear, you get a horrendous drone. But god, does it sound good when you accelerate. Yeah, so one thing I really do like about this bike now it's started is the lights. I hate a bike where you only have one light on one side and the other's blank. I can't stand that. So it sounds stupid, but one of the things I look for on a bike is to make sure they've got lights on either side. It's so symmetrical. I can't deal with having one side blanked out. It does my nut in. But with regards to the looks of this bike, I absolutely love the look of it. I know when it was first brought out, people said it's an ugly looking bike, it's not going to, it's going to be a very Marmite bike, and I do believe it is a very Marmite bike. But I like bikes that look aggressive, look mean, but I really like this bike. So just before we carry on for the ride, what I was saying about the seat height, flat footed on both sides, knees slightly bent. Yeah, so knowing I can flat foot the bike and know I've got proper stability is something I do like about the bike. As you'll notice, I have bar end mirrors. The bike comes with these like antler type looking mirrors. In actual fact, I posted a picture up of my old Z. They are horrendous mirrors, and to be fair, you can't see nothing out of them either. I mean, you can see your shoulders and that's about it. So I put these bar end on there. Don't get me wrong, you can't see much out of them either really, but you know, it makes it look better. So anyway, let's crack on. So in regards to the ergonomics of this bike then guys, I don't know if you can tell in the video, but I'm leaning over slightly, leaning forward slightly should I say. Not completely sport bike-ish, but it's also not the sit up and beg kind of positioning. But it's not an uncomfortable place to be. I mean, as you can tell, my knees are quite high up, to be fair, but I don't find it uncomfortable position. You know, you do after a while start to ache a little bit, and you sort of have to be able to stretch your legs, but compared to a full sports bike, it's a lot more comfortable, I find anyway. The seat on this bike is it's not the most comfortable thing in the world, but again, I've sat on more uncomfortable bikes. The problem I find, and I'm comparing this bike to my Versys, which is unbelievably comfortable, which I can't really do because they are so different. So what I don't like about this bike then? Well, I mean, it's not that I don't like about it. It's things that I wish it had. I wish it had a quick shifter. I mean, I think this bike should have a quick shifter, 100%. I know you could buy them, I have looked into it, but Kawasaki have quoted me about £700 to have one supplied and fitted, and I just can't warrant having that done, to be honest with you. And I do see a lot of stuff online about how it affects the gearbox, so I don't particularly want to cause the bike any issues. With regards to dislikes to the bike, I'll be honest with you, that's probably about it. I really do like this bike a lot. Things I love about the bike, I love the fact this tank is so big. I mean, you feel like you're sitting in the bike instead of on the bike. It's a bit of a weird thing to say, but I mean, unless you actually ride one, you won't really understand what I mean by that. But I mean, it kind of, the bike, in a way, kind of hugs you, and you feel confident in the position you're in. There's quite a few bikes out today. I do find the bike turns a lot of heads. Like if you go to bike meets, people are quite keen to look round it as well, which is quite nice, because obviously you don't want to buy a bike and, you know, no one interested in it. I mean, don't get me wrong, the exhaust make a lot of heads turn because it is so loud, but I said about the quick shifter earlier on, but I mean, this clutch and this gearbox combination just works brilliantly. It's so smooth. Another bike. I thought I'd be the only idiot out of the bike today, but sorry, I'm going to be a bit of a child now. It may only have 140 horsepower, but it is quick. Properly quick. Plenty fast enough for what I want, if I'm honest. I'm going to be even more of a child now as well. Look, mini tunnel. It's best I'm going to get around here anyway. Sorry, I know that's really sad and immature, but I just love the sound of this bike. It sounds so good. I think my Insta 360's died. Oh, that's a bit naff. That was a new battery, I think. Oh, I do have a habit of putting dead batteries back into things, but so you won't get much footage from that today then. Being stuck behind a horse box with an exhaust this loud is not really ideal, so I'll have to keep a distance, I think. Oh, I'll bring the clutch in, don't want to scare the horsey. Hope you like the video anyway, guys. I'd say it's just a little review of my Z, and if you've got a Z yourself, let me know. Let me know what you think about it. Do you like it? Do you don't like it? What do you like about it? What don't you like about it? Be interested to know what people think of their Zs. I I am looking forward to getting this bike out in summertime though, when I can trust the roads a bit better. And ain't so windy. So please subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. I don't mind, it's each their own at the end of the day. Tick that bell notification, let you know when I've got a next video out, and I will catch you on the next one. Catch you later.